What's good, YouTube? It's Justice. I used to be paying. Today I'm back with another video, and in this video we're going to be talking about the Carter 6. But before I get into that, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all those things. It helps me out a ton. We just recently hit 40k subs. I want to thank everybody who subbed, everybody who's watched and not subbed and maybe left a like or left a comment, everybody that's contributed in any way to getting these videos in the algorithm. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. And I want to say before I get into the video, this is no disrespect to Wayne, all right? We just got to keep it real. I love the man. I had nothing against him personally. In this video, we just got to keep it real. The Carter 6 sucks. It stinks. It's ass. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it, all right? We all know this. If you're watching this video, you've probably seen other people's reviews for the Carter 6 who have said similar things. If you've listened to the album yourself, you probably came away with the exact same conclusion that this project stinks. When it comes to quality, we all know that this ain't really it. But I am here to tell you that it's not the end of the world. It's okay. It's actually okay that this album isn't the best. I've seen people crashing out online, crashing out over this album and how it's bad and this, they can't believe it, and I can't believe Wayne would drop something like this. And I've even seen some people putting his legacy into question over this album, questioning if Wayne was ever even really that good, which is nuts. But I will say this. Seeing the reaction from the rap community to this album has brought a little bit of warmth to my heart, because it's nice to see us all come to the agreement that this project stinks. Like, it's nice for everyone to be on the same page for once, because that never really happens in the rap community, where everyone, no matter what side of the spectrum, no matter who you're a fan of, nobody really comes together like this. So for us to come together and all be like, yeah, this sucks, is nice to see, especially after last year, Drake and Kendrick, all that stuff, pick a side. It's still going on to this day. So for us to all as a community be able to come together and share an opinion, I think is honestly quite beautiful. First, let me get these jokes off, though. You know, I've been hearing a lot of people say some crazy jokes. I just want to share it with y'all. All right, some people are saying this. Some people are saying that they're calling this album another win for the deaf community. Sources are even saying that Lil Wayne recorded this entire album while wearing a Celtics Shaq jersey. I've even heard people say that this album has more ass in it than Zion Williamson's search history. What I will say about this album is that this album is bad because of Lil Wayne's lacking of a creative direction in 2025. He doesn't really have a creative vision at this point, because I don't feel like Lil Wayne's personal performances were really that bad on this album. Like, when we're just talking about his rapping in terms of his bars, what he's saying, the rhyme scheme, I don't feel like his performances in that sense were bad on this album. I thought that there were some pretty good ones here and there. Just the production and the direction of the album was questionable at best, because when you listen to this album, you're not really sure who this is for. Like, Wayne is now in his 40s, yes, but he's not really rapping to a mature audience with these grown up or these older motifs and topics in the same way that somebody like Nas does with his audience. While also at the same time, you can't really say that this album is for the younger people, because Wayne isn't really tapped in enough with the younger people and what they're really into in order to engage them in a way that they're actually going to interact with. I really wish I could have thought of this point on my own, but Bomani Jones, who's been in media for years now, gave a great take on the Wayne situation, and he said that it's really hard to be an aging rapper when you're a rapper without a point.
When you're a rapper who never really had a point, it's hard to age. Because at his best, Wayne is so incredible, but he didn't really have a point. And then he reached this point where his recording was one line at a time, just making sure that the bars were dope with one another. But that's no way to put together anything that actually has a point. Why do I care what Lil Wayne says about anything at this point in my life?
And he's 100% right about Wayne. He's always been a contemporary rapper who just kind of raps. Like, Wayne does have some songs with meaning, but he really just, for the most part, makes like feel-good music or turn-up music. And that's not to say that he hasn't been an amazing rapper and one of the greatest of all time, but you're not really listening to Wayne to get any like crazy insight or hear somebody spit some crazy game or anything like that. Like, he just kind of makes cool music, the type of music that would get played in clubs or that young people will listen to. However, when you're now 42 years old and you still make this type of music, your audience has changed. Not in terms of the demographic, because Wayne's style of music and what seems to be the intention behind the music is still for that like 15 to 25, maybe early 30s range, but the people that now make up that range have changed. All of Wayne's fans that have been there since day one are bare minimum at this point pushing 40, and the people that are 15 to 25, maybe up to 30 at this point, don't really have that sort of allegiance to Wayne like the group before them had. When you see other older rappers like a Nas or a Pusha T even, who are well into their 40s, even pushing 50, you see that they kind of end up taking their audience with them. Like they come into the game, okay, I'm making music for like 15 to 25. And then as time goes on, now it's 25 to 35, and so on and so forth. The topics of the music start to change and evolve, and the experiences that are shared throughout the music are relative to what their audience is going through as they get older. It's not just kind of stuck in the middle. These guys also have some sort of message that they're usually trying to get across. But when Wayne comes around with this like just general turn up, good vibes, regular rapper music where he's not really saying anything outside of typical rapper stuff, it ends up falling into a demographic of people that are younger, because in general, as a genre, rap is more so catered to younger people, like 15 to 25, maybe up to early 30s. I'm not saying that older people don't listen to rap or that older people can't enjoy new rap music, but just in general, it's kind of targeted at young adults. And when Wayne drops for this demographic, whether it's intentional or unintentional, but when he drops this kind of in general music, these people aren't naturally inclined to go listen to it. Oh my God, I love Lil Wayne so much. This undying loyalty to Wayne, because that's not what they grew up on. And also at the exact same time, he's not really tapped into what the youth are really rocking with. He's not really aware of what's going on. He's not really trying to make himself aware of trying to fit into this new generation. So there's a disconnect. And I'm not saying that older rappers can't connect with the younger audience, because we see it. We see it with somebody like Future. We see it with somebody like Drake. We even saw it with Kanye up until like a few years ago, where these guys are pushing 40 or in their 40s or mid 40s and are still making music that young people enjoy, but it's because they took that effort to really get in there. Wayne used to be the epitome of cool. He was the guy that everyone had to pay attention to and tap into. He never had to tap into anything or go in here and figure out what's going on. It was Wayne at the center of the culture, and everyone just kind of revolved around him. All right, that was just kind of the deal. But nowadays, it kind of comes off as like, you know, the old man with the skateboard, like, what's up, my fellow kids? Like, that's kind of how it feels. Everyone likes to make fun of Drake for being so tapped in with the youth, and you know, he's hanging around these young rappers and these young streamers like Kai Cenat, Aiden Ross, Lil Yachty, Yeet, and other up-and-comers in the streaming / hip-hop rap content creation space. But Drake is still making contemporary music, and if he wants the youth to listen to his music, because that's still kind of his target audience, 15 to 25, he has to be tapped in with what they like, what they don't like, what's really going on. And I know that might be corny for, you know, a 38-year-old man, and people will roast him all the time. Oh, this 38-year-old man is trying to hang out with Kai Cenat, or he's talking to Kai Cenat, he's trying to hang out with Yeet. But at the end of the day, if he's still going to make music targeted to younger people, he's got to know what's going on. As a 40-plus-year-old man, Wayne no longer has the social cachet to just do his own thing and not really rap about anything and expect people to follow. He either has to make music with a purpose and target his older audience, or get super duper tapped into modern day hip hop culture, which as an older guy in this young scene might come off as kind of weird. I mean, Future does it, so it's possible. Future's like 40 something with like 11 kids. So it's not impossible, but you know, to me, Lil Wayne is in his Nuggets Russell Westbrook era. He's no longer the guy that he used to be, not even close, but he's still a player that can contribute to the team. Russ just had one of his best seasons over the last few years or so, coming off the bench for the Nuggets, and this was because he had a lot of responsibility taken out of his hands. He had a lot of the pressure taken off of his back. Russ was no longer expected to be the primary ball handler and the generator of offense for the Nuggets, and the team starts and ends with Westbrook, and Westbrook has to play this really, really big role. Nah, he was a role player coming off the bench. He played in his spurts, and sometimes he was great, and sometimes he was bad, but either way, it wasn't like you were depending on Russ. It wasn't like, man, if we lose this game, it's all on Russ. Nah, that wasn't really his role. He was able to come in and have some great moments, like against the Clippers in Game 1 in the playoffs, where they won that game because of what Russ was doing at the end of the game. That is the role that I see Wayne in now. He's not the guy that you have to depend on. You shouldn't be depending on him anymore. But he can still come in and be serviceable, be pretty good, be even great at times. That's the role that I see Wayne in right now as a rapper. Wayne can still come through and absolutely smoke a feature or just be a good addition to the song, or sometimes he's not going to be great. It's not going to be amazing, but it's just that on his own in 2025, he's not going to be that crazy successful. I can't even really think of the last like Lil Wayne single, like Lil Wayne single, not a feature that really had people moving. Wayne can still rap, he's still skilled and pretty sharp as a lyricist. I just think that his creative vision is kind of cooked at this point. He can be a good role player in addition to the team, like Russ playing with and off of Jokic. Just when he's on his own trying to lead a team to a championship, it can get kind of rough. This album for me is like what would happen if you were to stick Russ on the Jazz right now and told him to lead that team to a ring or even the playoffs. It's gonna flop horrendously. Wayne is moving like John Cena's heel turn. It really hasn't been great, but when you stick John in there with somebody he has chemistry with like a CM Punk or a Randy Orton, they end up pulling some of the good out of John that's still left. That's what Wayne needs to do from now on. Whether that's letting someone else or a collection of people really kind of drive the creative vision on his next few projects, or just focusing on being a great feature guy, which I believe he can still do. Hot take, but I think it's okay for Wayne to drop some bad music when he's in his 40s. He just wasn't going to be in the best rapper in the world conversation for 25 years. It just doesn't work like that, especially for a rapper like a Lil Wayne, who we could all kind of tell he wasn't going to age in the way that like a Jay-Z did with his music or somebody else. Like, just the fact that he's still here and making music really is enough for me at this point. I think that his reputation as one of the all-time greats, as one of the GOATs that people like to talk about, is hurting him more than helping him at this point when he drops music, because people are going to his music and still kind of expecting like that no ceilings Wayne to pop out, and that's just long gone by now. Wayne at this point is an OG, and his music isn't going to be the hottest thing on the block anymore, but that's cool. I just didn't expect it to be. I'm not saying that we have to give Wayne a pass for dropping a bad album. I just think some of y'all might be dragging it a little bit, all right? I think questioning his legacy for an album that's been dropped almost 30 years after his debut album is a bit crazy, all right? Like, chill, man. Like, y'all gotta give Unc some grace. Like, slow down a little bit on Unc. Like, for me, at this point with Wayne, it kind of is what it is. Like, if he drops something and it's great, then it's great. If he drops something and it's bad, then it's whatever. Like, I'm not really tripping off it. It's kind of like a similar way that I see LeBron at this point going into year 23. Like, LeBron, even though it's not the same because LeBron's still like a top 10 player in the NBA. So the comp with Wayne doesn't really work. But in the way that I view how they perform, it's kind of similar. Like LeBron, if he goes out and drops 40, I'm like, oh my gosh, bro, Bron's crazy. Like one of the GOATs. Like this man is 40 and he's still dropping 40 in the NBA. He's an all-time great. But if LeBron has a game where he scores 10 points and disappears on his team in the fourth quarter, I'm going to be like, bro, he's 40. Like, I don't know what y'all want him to do at this point. Like, y'all expecting way too much out of this 40-year-old man. Like, he's not going to deliver every single night. Like, at this point, that's where I am with Wayne. It is what it is. But regardless, if you made it this far, I greatly, greatly appreciate you. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Do all those things. Again, we're on the road to 100K. But if you made it this far, I appreciate you. Have a good day. Be safe. Be blessed. Peace.